The fourth requirement is ribosome. The fourth requirement is ribosome. You people might have been knowing that there are two types of ribosomes. In prokaryotes, it is of 70S type. In eukaryotes, it is of 80S type. It is of 80S type. So there are two types of ribosome, 70S and 80S. Again, these 70S ribosomes consists of a smaller subunit is 30S and larger subunit is 50S. This S refers to the Swedberg unit, that is the sedimentation coefficient. So mind it is not the simple addition that 50 plus 30 is equal to 80. No, this is not the case. This is calculated on the basis of their sedimentation rate, and the sedimentation rate of a smaller subunit is calculated 30S type, and the sedimentation rate of larger subunit is calculated as the 50S type. Likewise, this 80S eukaryotic ribosome also consists of two subunits. The smaller subunit is of 40S type, whereas the larger subunit is of 60S type. These two ribosomal subunits usually lie free in the cytoplasm, but during protein synthesis they get associated along mRNA to form 70S type or 80S type. Suppose this is the mRNA, and along this mRNA this is the a smaller subunit and this is the larger subunit. A smaller subunit means in the case of prokaryotes it is 30S, in the case of eukaryote it is the 40S, in the case of prokaryotes it is the 50S, in the case of eukaryotes it is the 60S, and this is the mRNA. This is the mRNA. This is the mRNA. I have already mentioned in the process of transcription that when mRNA get released from the area of replication, it went to a smaller subunit of ribosome to control translation. So this is the process. When they get associated, there are three sites on this. These are the three sites. When these two ribosomal subunits get associated along mRNA, there are three sites visible. This one is called E site. This one is called P site, and this one is called A site. This one is called A site. Full form of E site is exit site. It is exit site. P site, peptidyl site. Peptidyl site. And A site is aminoacyl site. Aminoacyl site. So there are these three sites: E site, P site and A site. First charged tRNA will come unattached on P site. First charged tRNA will attached on this P site. On P site directly only one amino acid can come, and that amino acid is methionine. When first charged tRNA occupy this P site, in that case the second charged tRNA will come unattached on the A site. These two amino acids attach with each other with the help of peptide bond. When peptide bond forms, this aminoacyl bond gets break like this one. Suppose first amino acid attached here, second amino acid attached here, they attached by the peptide bond. Here is the tRNA, here is the tRNA. When this peptide bond will form, in that case this amino acyl bond will break and this tRNA come outside through this exit, that is the E site. This tRNA will come outside through this E site. After that, the entire substances from A site translocated to P site, and new charged tRNA will occupy the A site. Which tRNA will occupy the A site, it will be decided by the mRNA, and during translation mRNA never moves. This ribosomes, that is the 70S or 80S ribosome, this is the either 70S or 80S ribosomes move along this mRNA, read the codon, and likewise charged tRNA come and occupy the A site, and this process continue until and unless the termination codon occupy the A site. In that case, the polypeptide chain will get terminated and that polypeptide chain will be released from the P site. Polypeptide chain grow on P site and also released from the P site, and these are the 4 requirements to complete the process of translation.